And then physical, he was getting bigger?
Yeah, and maybe not so much bigger, but he's getting stronger. I can tell that. He probably had to trim some body fat down, clean up his diet. So I think he's done a good job with both Zach and Dave getting together with that. And, yeah, he's a guy that, from a development standpoint, we're counting on him to make leaps, not only this spring, but next year. He's got to keep making big jumps.
Hey, does Jonathan Taylor remind you of anybody in your football days? Or
he's a really good back. He honestly, in my mind, is a little bit like Amon Green. I think that's who he kind of compares to. Is, he looks at times like he's kind of gliding, but he's got a really smooth stride, and I've never seen the guy get caught from behind. He's a big body too, but has the ability to not only run through guys, but also have a very subtle wiggle and make guys miss in space. So he's a good back.
Did you watch last year's tape? I mean, I think 250 in that game.
Yeah, you got to watch it for sure. Watch it. Now, I think one thing Wisconsin does is they're pretty game plan specific, and I think each year is a new year for them. But they do a great job of having a bunch of complementary runs. So you got to be on your fits, and then when you get there, you got to make sure you tackle it.
As you kind of look through some of those third down struggles, as you guys try to improve that, what role does communication and improved communication play?
Yeah, I think that's always one of the first things you look at. Not only on third down, but anytime you give up something on defense, was the communication right? Did this guy know exactly what he was supposed to be doing? And a lot of times, third down, coverage-wise specifically, you got extra communication involved because you may be doubling a route, you may be playing a certain coverage to a certain look. So, from a coverage standpoint specifically, third down is very, very important.
And how do you improve that as the season goes along?
Oh, you just with defense, good defenses find a way to fix their problems. And it's just about detailing in practice and beating it in those guys' heads. Hey, you can't line up not knowing exactly what you're going to do, and you won't know exactly what you're going to do unless you talk about it and communicate it. So it's on us to make sure they're in the right stuff, the right calls, and then in practice they got to execute it and they got to make sure they're talking with each other on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Barrett, at what point, Scott talked a lot about the need to get sort of bigger and stronger and faster. Is there a tipping point where once you have that, then it becomes mostly a technique conversation? Yes, I think the technique conversation never goes away. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you got, a 6'2", 250-pound D lineman or a 6'4", 300-pound. The technique's got to be on point. Yeah. And there's a few times where you're going to have some guys that just manhandle people and whatnot, but it always starts with technique. You can do as much as you can to get bigger, stronger, faster guys. A lot of that stuff is involved with the off season, but in season it's all about technique and being precise with what you're supposed to be doing. So even if you're a really extreme talented player, if your technique's not on point against good teams, you get exposed. What particularly about Wisconsin makes? I know technique's obviously important every week, but what about this running attack is different from the techniques?
They're a very precise team. A lot of times people think two-back runs are maybe easier because it's not a bunch of the crazy misdirection stuff. But when you got a 12 personnel, 21 personnel, 22 personnel, you really got to be detailed in what you're looking at and detailed in your run fits. And they have a wide variety of running plays. So it presents a new challenge. You got to be really, really detailed. Pre-snap, get lined up and see what you're supposed to see, and then post-snap, defeat blocks and be in the right spot.
Garrett, I think you were asked about Garrett earlier, Nelson, but he was just breaking down in tears talking about getting his black shirt. As a Nebraska kid yourself, what's that, mean to you to a kid, have a kid like that?
I guess the best thing I say is it doesn't surprise me. I know how much it means to him, which is one of the reasons why he got it. And he does things the right way. He loves football, and he's the type of guy we want in our program.
What's the challenge as a defender when Wisconsin maybe isn't going to run a bunch of plays, but your defense is going to be out on the field for the majority of the game? I guess what goes into that kind of program? Yeah,
you do got to be aware that it's a slower operation. They're a huddle operation, which anymore is almost foreign. Plays aren't going to come in lightning fast. A lot of pre-snap movement and shifts, so you got to be really good with the communication, getting lined up, getting your feet in the ground. And then when you're getting ready to play, they got a bunch of big people running plays, which sometimes sounds easier, but When you got 12, 21, 22 personnel, there's a lot of big body parts moving in a lot of directions. So you got to be able to fit up all your runs and all your defenses.
I've heard some of you guys talk about patience too, where maybe they'll get 3 yards, 4 yards, 3 yards, and guys can get lulled to sleep, or maybe they get impatient and take it upon themselves to do something. Do you guys have to kind of guard against that kind of thing too?
Oh, I think so. It's one of those, defense never changes. It's all about doing your job, but I think it sometimes gets more exposed versus this type of game where, sometimes a 4-yard gain is a success for them, and sometimes you got to be okay with tackling a guy for 3. That's a good play. And then when you do get a chance to get a TFL, you got to take advantage of those ops too, because those guys don't give you a lot of opportunities to get them in second 12. So if you get them behind the chains a little bit, it's definitely for your advantage.
Garrett and Damian are not, starters, I guess, in the typical sense. But can you just speak to what they mean to the program and what has sort of earned each of them a black shirt?
Yeah, I think it's a big deal, especially when you're newer staff and whatnot. When you see guys that are exactly what you want on and off the field from a character standpoint and a mentality standpoint, and those guys are that. They're the hardest workers. Kind of smile on their face. They love it. They love everything about it, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for 150 guys with that mentality.
Thanks.
Okay.